right, everybody, we are back yet again. I was with you earlier this week. I'm Jump Penny. I'm now joined by Hawkshaw today. Very excited to be here, Hawkshaw. A patch just went through today, so we have some dynamic Overwatch to watch. I'm curious to see if these teams are going to, how much, if at all, they're going to react to this new patch, if it's going to affect the way they've been playing the game. Being that I've casted and seen both these teams play, I'm really curious to see how much they change their playstyle based on this patch, Hawkshaw.
Yeah, it's gonna be very interesting. As we know, there were quite a few changes that went through today, and it's kind of like you have the match on the day of the patch. So at that point, you're just kind of like, well, crap, what do I do now? So, so I think it might end up playing a pretty decent role, and within like the coming weeks, or maybe even like the next few days, we'll definitely start seeing teams play more around those balance changes, and they'll really start to discover their strengths and weaknesses within any possible meta change that comes through.
Yeah, it's really big because, especially if a team could get really surprised. Maybe you think, oh, not a big deal. This patch doesn't really change much for me. And then all of a sudden, your comp that's been working just gets rolled out of nowhere. So we do have player interviews coming up very shortly before this match. Very excited. We have, I believe, Icy from 4-3 Riot and Panay from Ascent. Two very excited teams that I'm excited to see clash because I really don't know where these teams rank up against each other.
Yeah, definitely. I think Riot is still trying to pick up their first win of the season. And, they might have their shot today against Ascent. We'll see how it goes.
So, yeah, very exciting match. And I'm going to go ahead if 4-3 Riot is ready, Hawkshaw. I'm going to bring Icy up here. Is Riot ready?
Give me one moment. I need to check something. I think... Give me one moment.
Of course, I don't want to drag him out of the chat unexpected and maybe leak some team secrets, but we are going to get Icy in here very shortly, who recently had seemingly a sort of change of heart and has actually changed roles, I believe, going into this match. So a new patch, a player changing roles. Very exciting things here. Hawkshaw, just let me know whenever you think Icy is ready, and I'll bring him up here.
Yeah, I'm gonna drag him up right now.
Icy, how is it going? You're playing for 4-3 Riot today versus Ascent, and as I believe you've recently changed roles. Is that correct?
Yeah, I was a support player, but then I said, you know what, I want to throw in DPS.
Of course. Who doesn't? I mean, obviously, if you're swapping to DPS, you have that throwing mentality. No, but for real, though, this is a very exciting matchup for me because I've actually casted you guys. I've casted Ascent as well. So I've gotten to see both of you play, obviously, with the patch coming today. I'm curious to see how that affects things. How do you guys think you match up against Ascent?
I think we're going to do pretty well because we actually did scrim them like just yesterday, and it was some pretty close games, but I think we were doing better. I think we got this.
Nice.
Good. It's cool when you see teams internal scrimming because you know the competition is going to be ready for game day. And one last question. Actually, two more questions, if you don't mind, before I let you go back to your team. The first one being, this patch, it just came out today. Obviously, the match being today, maybe you guys didn't necessarily change anything. Just curious. And maybe you don't want to give away too much, but could you maybe on a scale of 1 to 5, possibly, could you answer how much you think this patch has affected the way your team was playing before this patch?
Probably like a 3.
Okay, nice. So yeah, clearly it's a big patch. So I think it really throws a lot of things into the mix. Curious to see how you guys react. Before I let you go back to your team, do you have any words for your opponent? We are going to have them in here shortly for an interview. Ascent.
Get ready because we're going to throw as a team and just win.
Let's go. Love the team mentality of throwing together. Thanks for the interview, Icy. We're going to let you get back to your team now. Yeah. All right. Hawkshaw, I know you have I know you're excited. You're interviewing Panay, right? So
yep.
I'll let you take the lead on that. Go ahead, my friend. Very exciting interview.
Alrighty. Getting in one moment.
Of course, once we get these teams ready, as always, don't want to leak vital information.
Yeah. All right, so just double checking now. All right. And Oh, I almost just dragged the wrong person. We're not going to talk about.
A double interview, or a
All
secret
right.
leaked interview, possibly.
All right, so here he is. All right, so Panay, welcome
Yo.
to this interview.
Hello.
You're going up against 4-3 Riot.
Yes.
So as we know, there was a new patch that came in today, and
Yeah.
how do you think that's going to affect things for this match and like the upcoming week?
Well, like personally as a Ryan player, I feel like it's just gonna be have to play a little bit more passively, losing that 50 armor and everything. But I don't not much. I don't think it'll change that much overall.
Alrighty. So Jump Penny, do you have any questions for Panay?
I do not. I mean, honestly, yeah, you said being a Ryan player, this patch hits you really hard. I almost didn't expect this part of the patch to go through. So I guess I'll ask, were you surprised this morning? Or did you expect it to go through from the moment it
I really didn't expect it to go through, especially with like the Diva Troll Mech buff thing. Like that just sounds really dumb in my opinion, but I guess Blizzard does what they want.
Yeah, that was something. That was something, all right.
That's all I have though.
Yeah. So, and one more thing, before we'll send you back. Do you have any words for your opposing team, Riot?
I just want to talk to Skies personally. I'm ready to MTD you again, just like yesterday.
Damn, all right.
I love these main tank matchups. Great interview, Panay.
Love it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Have fun.
You too.
Yeah, we will get you back to your team here. One moment. All right, Panay is back, and I know these two teams are just itching to get at each other, and as we've heard, sort of leaked, that these teams have been internal scrimming, so they knew they had this match, and they were excited to sort of try it out. But the big thing is that they had this scrim, and then the patch hit. So obviously, we don't know what happened. According to one player, there was a bit of an MTD, possibly. But regardless, the patch coming through, who knows if that's going to be the case? We might not even see. I don't know. Usually, when I hear MTD, I assume Reinhardt, but that doesn't have to be the case. So, really excited to see these two teams go head to head, especially knowing that there's probably a little bit of a little personal rivalry on the line. Clearly, these teams have communicated with each other before a little bit.
Yeah, we'll definitely see again how that new patch affects things. I'm definitely interested to see how it affects things and how these teams will play around it.
The chat. What we love to see in chat, of course, is people supporting their team, and this chat is spicy. Are those spicy Doritos being spammed? Because this is hot. Clearly, some Ascent fans. I see some Riot fans there as well. These teams are going to have an exciting matchup with fans that are just foaming at the mouth to go at each other. I see, honestly, I really kind of have to say something. I think I'm seeing something that maybe, storylines develop throughout a season. This is kind of building up to be a unique little rivalry here. This is very nice.
Yeah, for sure.
Clearly, the chat is feeling it. Oh my gosh, there are a lot of Ascent fans. Riot has something to prove right now. This is going to be a great match. We're going to be going into Ilios once these teams are ready. Certainly, they are planning, strategizing, and getting prepared because they got a lot on their minds with this patch going through today. Hawkshaw, actually, let's go over a little bit of this patch as we're getting ready to go in this map. We have a few moments here. First, the Baptiste changes. So, Biotic Launcher. Some changes to the health of that, so the explosion reduced. So sort of a Baptiste nerf overall. Not a huge one, but enough of one, I would say.
Yeah, but I think if it's like a direct hit on the right click, if it's like a direct hit, it'll do a bit more, like 70 or something. Actually. You're
right. Yeah, now restore. That's right. So it's sort of a skill incentivizing change, I think, at the end of the day. So you're sort of incentivized to get direct hits. More, which I can't really complain about that. Obviously, Baptiste has been a strong hero for a while. The Diva change is absolutely bongos, but I personally really like it, especially due to the fact that with Bap and Rhine being both nerfed, the current Rhine Baptiste comp that's been pretty meta. Maybe the Diva getting buffed can sort of help that comp a little bit if it struggles. And of
Maybe,
course, Moira has gotten a buff, and you would sometimes play Moira over the Baptiste in that comp. So with the Moira buff, that's really exciting. Maybe we see some Moira over Baptiste in a couple comps. I would actually like to see that because, Moira's always been the hero you think of when you think of Brawl. So the recent Baptiste was always a little wonky. I think this makes a little bit more sense with the original character designs in mind. I think some of this patch makes a lot of sense. Obviously, as a Ryan main, Hawkshaw, I hate seeing that armor reduction by 50. It makes me so sad.
Yeah.
But
Painful.
it hurts. It really hurts. I'm gonna not be biased and say that maybe there's some reason to it. Frankly, I thought Overwatch League had a good sense of balance. I know that doesn't always translate directly to comp, but you have to consider that players in the sort of like gold through diamond sort of rank. Some smack talk in the chat had me distracted. Sorry, but players, especially in NA, tend to default to Rein Zarya, so I think you'll see that more statistically, anyways. And then the next big thing is the Roadhog buff. So he's back to his one-shotting ways. Damage per projectile from 6 to 6.6, I think. So I think that one-shots a few low-health characters, which is unfortunate for some people. Some Hog mains are going to be happy about that because obviously Hog wasn't really getting played at all, especially at like the highest level of the game. There wasn't really any Roadhog. So and then the Sombra change, you get some speed increase. So that kind of leads to some double bubble that we've kind of been seeing, especially in certain regions, and especially on certain maps. So I think it's an interesting patch. There are some parts I like, some parts I don't, but I'm curious to see how these teams have reacted to it going into this match, Hawkshaw.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I was actually looking at the Roadhog changes earlier, like in the practice range. Man, you can just two-shot tanks like when you're like at point blank range.
That is destructive. That's very scary for a lot of tank players like myself. But yeah, I don't know. I'm curious to see. I think the reasons Ryan kind of works in this meta, hopefully that 50 armor won't make a difference. But the fact that Winston just got 50 armor means, I think a lot of times, or he got a similar buff, but I'm not sure when you're going to want to play. Yeah, he got some armor. I don't think it was 50, but Winston recently got some armor. So it's hard for me to imagine when. I think a lot of times now you're going to want to play the Monkey over the Rhine when you already kind of were. Like Monkey Zarya is already in a way you're kind of replacing Rhine with like a more mobile tank. Because when you think Zarya, a lot of times you obviously think tank. The chat still going at it, of course, that always. Sure. We're just waiting for these teams getting into it.
Yeah. So we're going into Ilios to see if these teams are ready. So yeah, since we're going on to Ilios, what do you think we'll end up seeing here? I don't think we've seen this map too much at all, like throughout this tournament. So
Good point. I'm trying to think if I've seen any Ilios. I know we haven't seen much of it, if any. I think actually
it was Riot versus Nightshade.
Riot versus Nightshade, and Riot took that map, and then they went on to lose to Nightshade, which would imply that that's a really strong map for Riot. So Riot maybe has the advantage just going into the first map purely, and not to sound like I have an ego or anything, but no, this is going to be a really exciting matchup, and clearly these teams are just foaming at the mouth to get at each other. So I'm really excited to see what comps they come out on.
Yeah, for sure. We're on Ilios Lighthouse, which hints to me that we could either see like the Brawl or maybe some sort of more divey composition here. I have seen quite a bit of double bubble on this map, as well as like the Brawl comps where you can just run to the point and just hold there for pretty much as long as you feel like. It looks like on the side of Ascent, they're going to be running that Brawl comp.
Yeah, both teams seem pretty comfortable in the Brawl, and that's what they sort of start off on. No swaps yet, but yeah, the Brawl very early. Obviously, the May pick is actually really big, I think, for Ascent here, Hawkshaw.
Yeah, we'll definitely see how that plays into the hands of Ascent. There are a few chokes on this map that you can possibly isolate someone on the enemy team with, and looks like Riot they're way ahead of Ascent, straight to the point.
Yeah, Ascent getting in that Maywall's not going to get a whole lot. It does split the Reinhardt, so he has to retreat a little bit in that 50 armor. You'd love to have it as Skies goes down early. Ascent rolling onto the point. Skies is dead now, and without that main thing, it's going to be really hard to win this. It is getting a little bit chaotic on the point, and that's what you like. DJ Pickle finds a pick. If you're Riot, you like this sort of chaos that's happened, but you don't like that you're starting to trade out picks. You're already down one, and now DJ Pickle's found another. Veraski Grant goes up. They reset? It seems like some members of Riot reset there when, frankly, they were even after that other pick from DJ Pickle, so maybe the call came a little bit early. Now Ascent going in with this 20% up.
Yeah, possibly a bit of miscommunication. They did end up finding a couple picks, but ended up resetting in the midst of it. And now that Ascent has this point control, they can just use this window however they want, and that's gonna be forcing out the immortality field from Sweetbread immediately. But Panay is out of his shatter. He gets stunned out of it.
Oh, Panay stunned out of the shatter is huge. The lamp is up now for Ascent as Riot has already used theirs. Sweetbread goes down though, and that's really bad for Riot. They're gonna be sent back to spawn now. Resetting off the map is Skies. It's Riot just gonna have to regroup here. They do have some ultimates online, so they could use that to their advantage in this next fight.
Yeah, they're up to halfway now. Both McCrees have their Deadeyes. Veraski Grant though almost up to that grab as well as Sweetbread with the window. You could engage with that, go aggressive with it, give your team those double heals, and we'll see what approach they take with it.
Now 4-3 Riot getting aggressive, getting Maywalled off, but they're still going. There's the grab right now, but Skies goes down. Veraski Grant's grab might be enough. The Dragon follows up, doesn't catch anything but AP Flower Child, and frankly Riot are just... That's too little too soon. They try to win that fight with the Grab Dragon. The execution is just a little bit off, and now they're going to be forced to regroup. And Ascent has ults here now, unfortunately, for Riot.
Yeah, it looks like the actual dragon from Icy was just like too close, or he like sent it too close and they couldn't hit anyone in the grab. But it's a
big shatter from Skies, but yeah, he was going in aggro because he wanted to make space onto the point so that they could touch without Baritone dying. Baritone does get a boot pick, that's huge, but going down as well. Skies hit a shatter, but they were just forced to go too early to be able to get to that point. Now it looks like Ascent gonna roll this through. 99-0, and this is really bad if you're Riot because this was your strong map.
Yeah.
Obviously only one round. Riot still having plenty of time to try to turn things around here, but they've got to get something going quick. And I'm curious to see how they change it up going into round 2.
Yeah, that's Ascent making a big statement coming into Ilios, just taking the first map in a dominating 100-0. And that's probably gonna set them up for some good momentum going into this next zone, Ilios Ruins.
Yeah, Ruins is a big map for Riot. I specifically remember them winning Ruins. Specifically, it's a little redundant, but and they're actually changing it up a little bit. Riot going seemingly to maybe some sort of weird, fringe comfort picks, which honestly I'm in support of. With how you got hit hard there, I'm in support of maybe changing things up. Right now they're on a Junkrat Pharaoh, which is pretty unique to say the least.
Yeah, definitely a bit of an unorthodox DPS line. And we'll see how it plays out for them, assuming they continue to stick with it. We're going into a bit of a pause. There's some ping issues on the side of 4-3 Riot. But let's talk about whatever, I guess.
Well, there's obviously plenty to talk about after that first round. A big play from Ascent. So I'm curious to see if Riot feels any comfort. They are ready, so it looks like we're going to be going back once Ascent is also ready. But I'm curious to see if they feel any comfort on maybe a double bubble. Maybe they use this patch to their advantage and try to change some things up. If they do find themselves down this round, which, they still have to do. Both teams running in with the Zarya. I think they ran that last time. So, usually, obviously, you do see some Diva played here. So the Zarya makes the comp have to play a little bit more together, a little less mobile. But at the end of the day, it does give you both high late fight potential where that Zarya can just get high energy and pop off. Here come both teams spamming each other out. Pharah looking for some early damage, not going to get much. But Ascent's rolling in somewhat comfortably as their Riot going to try to take early point control now. Ascent stepping in to say, no, Skies gets walled off and pins in with a big anti from Riot. Ascent looking on their heels right now. They have to use Lamp to keep their team alive, and right now Icy has the main tank down. That far pick pulling up big after the anti. Skies goes down, but another huge anti hits. But they can't follow up. This is so unfortunate. Riot is hitting these insane antis on every single play, multiple times a team fight, and it just, there's no follow-up.
Yeah, unfortunate. Riot can't follow up on, they can't capitalize on those insane bio nades from Baritone. He's already 73% to that nano boost. And I think if you're the side of 4-3 Riot, you just have to outrange Ascent with this DPS line. You have the Ashe and the Farmer, so you just need to poke from a distance here and just try and get value that way. Maybe push in once you end up with a pick.
Yes, Skies now using their pin there, but the window actually coming out from Ascent to hold him back. He gets nanoed and he's pushing right through it. He's taking too much damage here. Skies goes down early in this fight after getting walled off by the Mei, which has been a big pick so far from Ascent, who are already up with a huge advantage on round 2.
Yeah, I'm finding that Skies is getting isolated quite frequently by Edgy with the ice walls, and it's just sort of leading to these lost fights on the side of 4-3 Riot. Now it's another shatter.
Panay with a pick off that shatter as well. More of Riot falling to Ascent right now, who are having a really good game. You know, they were 3-0'd by WVU, and they clearly have learned from it. Really good signs from Ascent here that they've improved.
For sure, 70% and counting on this point. But this is, if you're on the side of 4-3 Riot, this is your fight to win. You have 3 ultimates, almost 4 online that you can work with here. They're coming down to final fight territory. They need to use these ultimates wisely.
The Ryans meet for a Fire Strike trade as they actually look for an engagement. Skies is on the high ground, willingly taking the Maywall for a pin on the Panay. A big anti following up maybe Flower Child. But now that pin hits Raskigran as they get grabbed here in last fight. They aren't aggressive enough with their ultimates, and Riot goes down. Really big plays by Ascent there, but I gotta say, they are just dominating Riot, who frankly look a little bit boomed right now, but they have Bob on the point, and wait a minute, this fight's still winnable. They use their ults to start to turn this thing around, and they have a last chance, but no. There's not anyone alive. The Bob goes down, and now all you have left is Skies on the ball, trying to roll this out. There's a grab that actually makes it to the point impressively. Raskigran does get Panay. This could still be winnable for Riot, and they have a chance on Ilios. If so, Riot looking to finally capture a point.
Yeah, clutch play there. Did you see that? Did you see that grab from Grant? He just read it halfway across the map, and it just landed right on the center of the point.
That was an insane grab from Grant.
Calculated as hell.
Yeah, it clearly paid off big for them. They managed to cap the point, and if you're Riot, this is big. This is just like in basketball. They say there's sort of a lid over the basket until you get that first score. Riot having gotten this cap is big. They really needed a team fight win. They just had to get one before this map was over, frankly. And now that they have, that's big. Not only for next map, but for this one. High Noon coming early does get Baritone. That's a huge pick with the antis we've seen. More members of Riot falling, and it looks like they're going to get down, and it looks like Ascent is leaning towards taking this map. I gotta say, if you're Riot, you're at least happy that you did get that team fight win. I think you needed at least that just to have a chance to stay alive in the series going forward.
Yeah, maybe taking that point, like at the very end, is showing that maybe it was sort of a warm-up round for 4-3 Riot. Who knows? But that was very, very convincing on the side of Ascent, pulling off that win, and they take Ilios map 1.
That's a really big Ilios. Only 33% gotten by Riot at the end of the day, so they got to change something up. And I'm curious to see what their map pick is, Hawkshot, going into the next one.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be an interesting one. They definitely weren't looking to be winning that brawl matchup, especially when we saw that on Ilios Lighthouse. So maybe they might turn to look to pick a map maybe like Dimbani or King's Row or something, and run stray away from that brawl comp maybe and run something like the dive, some sort of divey composition.
Yeah, I think that would be a really big play for Riot, who are going to be looking to change things up here. Going into map 2, if you haven't hit that follow button already, and if you just happen to have that free Twitch Prime sub, hey, that would be huge if you hit us up with it. But you just being here and watching is so supportive. Thank you guys so much. And hit that follow button so you can be entered in our giveaway. It's going to be happening very soon if you follow. And make sure you're here for that next match so you be entered in that giveaway. We have another exciting map coming up very soon. Don't go anywhere. Short intermission. All right, everybody, we are back. We're going to be going into Numbani shortly once these teams are ready. Got a little bit for them to prepare, but got to say that was a pretty dominant first map for Ascent. Riot's going to have to look to do something here because they're down bad right now through Ascent.
Yeah.
So what do you think specifically they can look to do here on Numbani, as this was the map you predicted they'd go to?
Yeah, seeing as they lost the brawl on Ilios, this hints to me that that 4-3 Riot wants to turn to more of those divey compositions, maybe a Monkey Zarya or maybe a Monkey Diva or something. We'll see, but that's definitely what I think that's definitely what I think we'll see from 4-3 Riot, and we'll see how Ascent is going to respond to it. Gonna see if these teams are ready real quick.
Yeah, and I'm sure they'll be ready very soon once they're done deciding what they're gonna do here, because frankly they got a tough map ahead, especially if you're Riot. You got to know what you want to go for here. But I wonder too if Skies has that monkey. I believe he does. In the repertoire, and I'm curious to see if it comes out and how it gets played at the end of the day. Yeah, I'm curious to see what Skies does, and I'm curious to see if they do decide to go to that monkey now. What's curious to see too is Ascent. Do they stay on the brawl for Numbani? Do they go to a double bubble or a Riot or a monkey diva? Maybe just a monkey in general in Numbani. Sometimes you like to have that. I think if we don't see it, that will kind of show that maybe these teams don't like to run monkey. Because frankly, Numbani is the map where if you were going to see a monkey, I think you would see it, especially on this first point.
Yeah. But you never know. So, and for substitutes, we're going to see Ven coming in for Grant in that off-tank spot.
Oh. Yeah, that's very true. Ven coming in is going to be big, I think. Probably putting Grant in on control. Maybe, Grant plays some ball, so maybe they thought they'd get some time to run that. But I think putting Ven in is a pretty good swap here. Not that Oscar Grant played bad by any means, but I'm curious to see what Ven can do. Obviously, the TM now coming in for Riot, so that'll be a big play. Maybe Ven able to maybe give some in-game leading and sort of keep the mental in check for Riot and make sure they're able to have the stamina to potentially pull this back after, again, a really dominant first map from Ascent.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of the movie arcs where you're sort of down in that first map, you end up getting dominated, and then you just end up coming back. Maybe we'll see that again from 413 Riot. And now we are going to be going in.
Traveling to
Numbani. Yeah, I really would be surprised if Riot stays on the brawl, but at the same time, I think they're really comfortable on it. So yeah, I'm actually curious to see what they do here. Because I think Ascent's probably going to pull out a dive a little bit. I think they might have it within their grasp to play that. So, although, just if I had to guess, I know both Panay and Skies are pretty committed Reinhardt main. Neither are really playing a whole lot of monkey ever that I know about. Obviously, I'm sure they've played it. Panay, but Panay is going to come out on the monkey, which is, I like to see that. That's good.
Yeah, and look at this. We're seeing the brawl again from 413 Riot, the Ryan Diva, except with the Doomfist this time. So this is gonna be interesting.
And maybe you could argue Riot wants to go to the brawl because they're on defense. I think it's a little easier to run, although Monkey is really good on defense at the end of the day. So yeah, I gotta say I'm just a little surprised. I thought Riot might switch it up. But maybe they think, you go to Numbani to make the other team run double bubble so that you can run brawl and win. Not sure, though. Curious to see what Riot can get done here early. This is obviously a tough first point to break home shot.
Yep, and now we're going to see how it goes. We see Ascent. I think they're going to be pushing down main with Panay on this Winston. They're going to be looking to see if they can maybe look for a target to jump onto.
Yes, guys, hitting a big fire strike there. Going to get some ult charge going for the Reinhardt. And that's big because this double bubble comp, what it does well is it gets ult charge. And right now, Panay isn't doing that. You can't get ult charge when you're dead. Shadow finds DJ Pickle in the McCree duel, and that's going to allow Shadow to find yet another. Icy goes down, and off of those picks, the double bubble just starts to roll. It seemed like some members of Riot got lost there, and at the end of the day, it was Shadow able to pick off a couple, and Jinro able to follow up with the rest on that Brigitte.
Yeah, the pick onto Panay, not going to matter. The rest of Ascent just says, I don't care, we're just going to roll the rest of this point. Icy looked to get a little isolated, find himself in a bad position on the Doomfist, and now he's flipped over to the Ashe, which is going to be good when you want to control this high ground. But you just have to be careful to not get jumped onto by this monkey and this Echo.
Yeah, obviously the monkey and the Echo are going to look to sync up a lot, and when you see both of those coming at you at the same time, it's scary. DJ Pickle, though, says the Echo's certainly not going to be looking at me because I'm going to pick them off. Take Edgy out of the Skies. Panay does find Ven out of the Diva. Both these teams are arguably even, but Skies is up ahead, and Skies goes down here, kind of separated from the rest of their team, frankly. This Riot's going to be sent back. Ascent pushing in, and they have ultimates. This double bubble comp just rolling to the point right now.
Yeah, and that's Shadow finding a few more picks of his own, really going to light up that kill feed early on in this point. And it's 4.5 minutes left, and they're already on that last corner. Riot has to get a touch quickly here. But they don't have ultimates to work with, and while
yeah, and they are going in. Yeah, they're getting picked, and you know, at the end of the day, at least Ascent commits some ultimates. Honestly, if you're Riot, you're gonna take that because right now you're getting absolutely rolled, dude. Riot has got to do something here. They got to recover, and you know, it's nice to be honest. I know the audience likes that. You'd never like it for your caster to just lie to your face. I'm gonna be honest, Riot's getting rolled right now, and maybe they got to change something up, frankly.
Yeah, look at that time bank. 5.5 minutes for this third point. But now, both teams starting to have ultimates to work with here. We'll see if Ascent will be able to pick up on that. The shatter is huge. It's 5 on the side of Ascent.
Here we go, Riot gonna start to make this a game off of that shatter. No follow-up comes through, but certainly gonna send Ascent reeling. They do force the grab out. Sky's gonna get separated with it, but both teams have lost their main tank. Panay goes down as well. Ben stepping up in that leader role now on the TM, taking out the enemy Zarya. The Bob comes out. Ascent running away now from the rush of Riot, who have now taken another team fight in this match. They're starting to get something going, but let's see if they can capitalize on this short burst of momentum.
Yeah, this is definitely huge for 4-3 Riot. They want to look to stabilize here, and I think this is exactly what they need here. Now they only need to do that about like 5 or 6 more times. So Panay going in. Ball now.
Panay goes in early, big slam, but TJ Pickle, yeah, that's a little separated from the rest of the team, frankly. Panay goes down early, so their Ascent going to be forced to regroup as Riot is starting to gain some ground right now. Panay going back onto the Reinhardt now.
Yeah, this shows that he wants to look for that round duel once again with Skies, and I think it could be good for Ascent here, seeing as Panay was winning that main tank matchup on Ilios. And now it looks like Ascent, they're taking the high ground. They're going to look to drop onto the payload here. Skies backing far away, and now that's a huge grab from Raz to Grant. That's a massive anti-nade to follow up with it.
I gotta give credit, that was a really big play from Riot. Skies baiting the enemy team to run on them and then pinning out so that they could all get caught in that grab. That was actually a huge bait play by Skies and Ven. Whether or not it was fully intentional, it turned up absolutely massive for Skies, who followed up on that grab from Ven. Obviously, Sweetbread hit a huge ante there, and now Riot has this Lucio Ana, whereas it's actually Lucio Bap on the side of Ascent, who are coming in hot with the Echo. That's edgy, allowing Panay to swing. Skies goes for the shatter, doesn't catch much, but the ante hits big. The copy's down, and Ryan is low. Skies deleted now, but they find Panay as DJ Pickle goes down, but you're down your main tank for both teams. Riot has a chance to stagger, though. This last point can be really hard when you go down a couple, and now Bob gonna be in the stall for Riot, so Ascent gonna have to put something together. They get the Bob down quick, but Riot is coming back to the point, and they got a Nano Monkey. Big Anthe hits, and he is an angry dude going in hard. Edgy finds themselves down, and through the rest of Ascent finding Skies diving in now, but that being said, Riot is starting to roll through. They've gotten some momentum, and they're holding their ground right now.
Yeah, and what was initially almost 6 minutes on that time bank is now down to 2.5 minutes. Sweetbread, I want to point out, Sweetbread hitting huge bio nades like the last 2 or 3 fights. We've just been seeing nothing but huge bio nades and great follow-up from 4-3 Riot. And that's exactly what you need. They're just keeping up this momentum, and now Baritone has this sound barrier.
That beat's going to be absolutely huge from Baritone. It's Riot who could be looking to take a map back right now. They're certainly down bad early, though, as Ascent is coming around on a big rotation. Maybe kind of forcing Riot to be the attackers, but it takes them a lot of resources. Panay goes down, the beat does get forced out from Riot, who are rolling through this team fight yet again. They've made some momentum, but they do have to invest the beat there, so Ascent has something to work with now, coming back with some ultimates online.
Yeah, and like you said, with those resources being used from the side of Ascent, that just led to them just not having anything for when they actually engaged, and that's not what you want, especially when you're playing in this brawl matchup. But nearly 5 ultimates on the side of Ascent. We'll see if they can pick something back up going into this next fight. They have a 1.5 minutes here as they run this next corner. But Ben is going to be the initiator here with this grab, and another nade onto Panay.
Oh, huge shatter hits as going to be... Oh my gosh, Riot is holding right now. There's so many ultimates coming out. I'm lost, but the window comes up from Ascent. Going to force Riot back. Ascent finally starting to get some momentum in their favor after being stalled out for a while. Riot successfully dying on the point, stalling out just a little bit longer. The Bob comes in. Going to get melted quick, though. That's a lot of damage on the Bob. At the worst time, maybe you can sync that up a little bit better with the team. Icy throws that Bob out early, and now the rest of Riot is re-engaging. Ascent has an aggressive push that's going to be hard to stop. Ultimates online for both teams could be huge. There's the Nano Monkey. Skies looking to build up to ultimate if they can live long enough. Skies goes down as well as Baritone. Riot is falling apart right now. Ascent making a strong final push with their ultimate still online. The shatter gets blocked. Here comes the freeze. Is Riot. It's going to have to retreat from this point. That looks like a strong cap from Ascent. Pretty big plays from Ascent right now, and they're up. Only 30 seconds on the time bank, though. Good hold for Riot.
Yeah, you have to give credit to Riot there. That definitely could have gone a lot worse, especially in that last fight. They were just stalling for what felt like an eternity. Like when Ascent thought, okay, everyone's dead now, they just someone else from Riot just ends up coming back in. That's the spawn advantage coming into play, and it's only 31 seconds left on the time bank for them, which is a very beatable time bank, especially on a map like Nimbani. So we'll see if 4-3 Riot can regain that momentum that they had on that third point and end up maybe surpassing that time bank.
That time bank's going to be one that, you know, maybe isn't the hardest thing to beat, but Riot, I know they've struggled on Nimbani in the past. I think their match against Nightshade, they found this point particularly hard to capture. And they've been down bad so far against Ascent, but that was a really big hold that got them a lot of momentum, maybe swinging in Riot's favor now, especially if they can capture this first point quickly. That would really keep the momentum rolling for them.
Yeah, we're going to be seeing the double shield out from Ascent, so they're going to be looking for a lot of long range with the Hanzo, the Ashe, and the Bap Zen as well. Looks like they're setting up on this back left high ground.
5, 4, 3, 2,
Yeah, it's going to be Ascent holding that high ground, and they have the double shield spam comp. It's going to be really, really, really hard for Riot to break through. I think, honestly, if you're Riot, you probably have to take a rotation against this to get up close and personal. Let's see what Riot decides to do. Right now, they're going underneath. Going to go to the point and try to hold it, but they're obviously going to get spammed out, so they go into that left room. Big hold, but Sweetbed throws out the lamp to stay alive. Now, tanks from Ascent are starting to drop early, and I got to say that's not great for Ascent, but they start to find the picks. Riot is going down now, and while they might get some ult charge out of this fight, it's going to be really hard to win. Ven has another pick, though. The high ground, just being able to spam out Riot is really big right now. No one on Riot really can clear out this high ground, but Baritone can go in, kill your Hanzo, kill your Zen as well. Baritone making a huge play to let Riot capture this point. That was huge. Baritone. Oh my gosh. Baritone just made a massive play.
That's huge. Yeah, 5.5 minutes now. That's a very quick point cap on the side of 4-3 Riot. Picks weren't even like throughout that entire fight. Then 4-3 Riot just managed to overwhelm Ascent, and now Ascent is now back to the brawl comp with Shadow still on this Ashe pick. So it's probably gonna be the same story. Yeah.
You're right. Now just pushing this card ahead. They have the mirror up, though, for both teams. That could be big. The mirrors are probably going to meet here, I'd have to imagine. Ascent uses it first. And if you're right, you can just kite back, and now they're going to use their mirror after for an easy advantage. I think that's pretty big for Riot here. They're going to at least get some push out of this mirror whenever they do decide to use it. Window Fire Strike surely coming soon. There it is. And a pick early. Jinro goes down as well as Panay. Riot really making good time here. They got to be careful to not get held in the same way it happened to them. They're not pushing the cart right now. That's fine, though. You just got to win the team fight. You can push the cart after. Riot is going to push this in. Decent time bank. They got to be careful because they could get held here in the same way Ascent did. But right now, they are turning this match around.
Yeah, definitely making a huge statement and just making a huge comeback as well. And, you know, like you said, it could turn into what Ascent experienced. But we'll see. They, sorry, tripping on my words.
No, both teams
Riot has like 4 ultimates. Yeah, 4 ultimates on the side of 4-3 Riot to work with.
Oh, the Bob gets caught up in the grab. Oh, that's a huge grab, though. The Shatters both go out and almost seem like they both got cut short, but Skies goes down in the back line. Panay is rolling through this back line right now, leaving a big split. for 4-3 Riot, who actually are going to struggle a little bit in what was early a 1 fight. They're going to get a few picks not going in their favor, and they got to try to regroup right now.
Yeah, and a lot of people on the side of Riot. A lot of people on the side of Riot had just turned to Panay in the backline. Well, Icy is still committing the Death Blossom to this. This is definitely a risky move. And now the Immortality Field invested from Sweetbread. You're not going to have that. And now I think if you're Riot, you just need to run all the way back. And that's exactly what they're doing. They know that they can no longer take this fight, and they just need to stabilize.
Yeah, Ascent has a lot of ultimates online right now, which is going to be really hard for Riot because this is the point where you do get held. Big Shatter hits almost all 6, except for Baritone, who's there with the beat to try to save it, but it's not going to be enough. 2 go down early for Riot off the huge Shatter from Panay.
Definitely, and huge hold, and now they're holding quite up close. Now they're gonna back up a little bit. But Ascent, they have this grab freeze combo, and Jinro has the sound barrier to sustain against whatever comes their way. Icy has flipped over to the Hanzo off the Reaper, which is definitely gonna help with the shield break a bit, give you a little bit more range on the side of Riot.
Early window from Riot's gonna be massive as they find 2 picks. They do get frozen though. Riot getting hit by a huge blizzard, and they're falling to the ult rotations right now of Ascent, but still a lot of time bank. If they can get their ults online and start to get some momentum, that would be huge for Riot.
Yeah, that was a textbook grab freeze combo from AP Flower Child and Edgy. And it's kind of Riot almost running their head into a brick wall right now. And now they're gonna take a different approach. They're going to take this high ground. And now it looks like Ascent has scouted them out, and they're gonna be reacting accordingly. And they still have the Shatter and the sound barrier, and Shadow can use that Jedi however he pleases at this point.
Big
finds 2.
Stuns Panay, but yeah, the High Noon from Shadow catches 2, and Riot's probably going to be sent back to spawn again. Lucio in the backline, Skies goes in and goes down. Yeah, the mirror at least coming out, so Riot glad to see some ults invested. Maybe they can come back next fight, force this beat out, and some ults of their own could turn this around. Riot right now getting held in the exact same way as Ascent was.
Yeah, but on the side of 4-3 Riot, they have this grab dragons combo. The Shatter from Panay, not gonna find anything.
Yeah, not
Use
that.
it up close, not gonna find anything, unfortunately for him.
Yeah, went for it the same way they went for it last time. Panay this time getting blocked by Skies, who says, "Hold up, I'm not gonna involve with the same thing twice." A big grab hits, and there's Skies trying to shatter, but Skies gonna lead it after that. That is a huge shatter, but you hate to go down afterwards. Riot obviously cleaning up this point. They're looking to clean it up and just get as much push as they can. They got to get Skies back right now, though.
Yeah, and this is a very risky position from Baritone. He's gonna back out now. He knows that it's a risky position, and you can't be taking that. Now Skies is coming back to the fight now, and Ascent has to get on this point.
Window High Noon, it catches Jinro, and Skies is back. Now the Rhine goes through and catches DJ Pickle, who goes down. Riot's on the point, the lamp is down, and Panay has 2 picks now. Although it's going to be hard because this point is not theirs. Panay is building the Shatter and looking to use it. The High Noon goes down. Panay uses the Shatter, but the beat comes through from Baritone. Riot can still push this through, but Ascent holding on strong, not looking to be going down without a fight here. They're still coming into it. The freeze is big from Ascent, but not big enough. That's a 1:10 time bank from Riot, who are making a good case right now. They're looking for a comeback right now.
Absolutely. They're definitely looking for this comeback. Up by 1:10 in this time bank right now. That's huge for them. And now we're going into extra rounds on Nimbani.
Yeah, these extra rounds are going to be big. I just had to get a little bit involved. Obviously, there's some very exciting talks back and forth in the chat from some passionate fans. I feel both way. And hey, I don't want to be biased. These are really big plays from both teams.
For sure. Definitely has been a great game to watch so far. Now it looks like we're gonna be seeing a bit of the brawl from both sides once again. I see on the Junkrat this time. Definitely an interesting pick for this map.
Yeah, this map is pretty interesting, especially when both teams are actually staying on that brawl. It sort of seems like that last point has made both teams just decide, you know what, we're just brawling the whole way through now. They've sort of almost had a mutual agreement. But yeah, that Junkrat pick is a little bit unique, I gotta say, from Riot. Let's see what Icy can get done on it, though.
Defend objective A.
Yeah, and I do tend to see the Junkrat sometimes incorporated into these brawl comps, and it can definitely work. And a lot of that spam damage is going to be really good. Just run down the resources.
That trap from Icy was huge.
Yeah,
He kind of scouted out the push there, and Skies goes down early, though, off a big pin from Panay. Oh, Ascent is rolling this point early. Riot is going to get hit hard. They're going to have to recover. That's already a team fight win and a point cap for Ascent.
wow. Yeah, that was a quick cap from Ascent, and it was over before it even started. Skies tried to capitalize off of that trap from Icy somehow, but unfortunately he found himself in the enemy backline 2 seconds later, and it just led to a point loss for 4-3 Riot. But now it's overtime here, and now they're going to be taking this fight around this corner early.
Oh, the wall comes out early. Skies is caught. The counter pin is big, and the lamp to keep Skies alive. But Skies is so low health, they just can't stay alive for much longer. Riot getting Maywalled off yet again. They're gonna have to reset. They get the mirror out, but yeah, they're really gonna have to regroup here. DJ Pickle doesn't decide to regroup. Members of Riot are just staggering right now, and Ascent is getting a lot of push out of it.
Yeah, that was CJ Pickle just getting absolutely caught out. Very good usage of the window by Bazinga, and now they're coming up on both DPS ults as well as the Earth Shatter soon from Panay. We'll see what Icy could do with this tire. He's definitely looking to use it from what I'm seeing, but they need to get on the point now. They do manage to make it, and Icy finds 2 with the tire.
Oh, they do, but wait, did they give up cap?
No one could touch.
Wait. Okay, no, wait. What just happened? Okay, no, I thought it almost looked like Ascent captured the point, but they did not. They did not capture the point yet. Okay, yeah, this has been really big from both teams, though. Riot do manage to use that Junkrat eventually to stop that push, and the problem for Riot is going to be if they can bust through first point quick enough to match that push from Ascent.
Yeah, I mean, judging by how quickly they did it last time around, maybe they could do it again. But that was also off the back of some misplays from the side of Ascent. I don't think when they were running that double shield comp, they utilized that high ground as well as they maybe could have. You know, it led to like the Orisa like dropping early and just everyone just getting rolled from there.
Yeah, and that's kind of why I think too that the Junkrat pick was pretty big, because you know they really weren't using the Grav Dragon to its best efficiency. So maybe at that point you just go to your comfort pick, and that Junkrat ended up being big. They did kind of get, you know, they got rolled through early, but it did allow them to hold that second point, where you know, neither team is really held up until the third point. So that was a pretty big hold there for Riot. But let's see if it was enough, and if Riot can actually have a chance at getting this first point early.
Yeah, and it looks like they're going to be running the McCree Reaper. Icy almost just playing like Mr. Heroes at this point. He's been playing a lot of these different heroes with the brawl comps, and at this point you just kind of need to see what works and what doesn't work. We'll see how this Reaper pick does work.
Well, Panay's going in big. Oh, they bait out Skies, who goes in, and they get Maywalled. Yeah, Riot has been getting Maywalled. I think so, yeah. But, well, either way, I mean, just Riot has been getting Maywalled all day long, Hawkshaw. They really got to be careful. That rotation in particular, you're almost asking for it.
Yeah, I think he just pressed the gas pedal way too hard, just charged into, like at the end of this hallway, and it just led to a good wall by Edgy. And now, look at that shatter percentage from on the side of Ascent. Panay is 90% to this shatter, and first fight just ended.
Oh, there it is already. Skies tried to almost cancel over the pin maybe, but not going to be enough. Panay goes down, or gets a pick, I should say. Skies is the one who's looking like maybe not alive for much longer. Riot can regroup and maybe get another fight out of this, because now they have the Shadow unlocked.
Yeah, and at this point, if you're Skies, you just need to do it right back to him, so that maybe you can MTD, maybe you can get this MTD onto Panay, but you need to do it quickly because you have 44 seconds left on this first point. And this is not all. Once you cap this, you'll need to just get all the way to second point in overtime, considering you only have 30 seconds and you get no time extensions at this rate.
Yeah, Ascent is looking really strong right now, and frankly, Riot's struggling. They got to be able to capture this point, but they have a window to get through right now from Bazinga. It's not going to be easy, but it's not really set up yet. So far, the window of Fire Strike doesn't come out, and it looks like some members of Ascent are kind of getting caught out. If Riot is quick, they can kind of catch a split here. The Maywall blocks Guy's Shatter. He shatters right into a Maywall, man. That feels bad, but Icy finds a pick. The mirror is out, so they can still win this. Jinro finding Sweep Red is not what you like to see if you're Riot. Ascent is rolling this point, and the Shatter from Panay. Sorry, is all that you really need to capture this off. We're up 2-0. Ascent. Going into the third map now, Riot has to do something. That was a much closer map than the last one, though. Riot certainly made a case for themselves, so maybe they can use this momentum, but they got to make it happen at some point. Again, as we said before, as we see this amazing play of the game from Ven, maybe a sign of hope for Riot, but make sure, again, if you haven't already, to hit that follow button at 413 followers. We're going to be doing a Blizzard BattleNet Balance giveaway. $41.30. So make sure you guys follow and check out the next match. So once we hit that goal, you guys are going to be able to be entered into that giveaway. Short 3-minute intermission. Don't go anywhere, guys. We're going to be right back. All right, everybody, we're back again. Map 3 now as Ascent took 2 maps. Very strong right now. Riot is down bad. They got to pull something back. Ascent, Hawkshot, frankly, they're looking dominant right now, man. They took 2 maps. They're playing great.
Yeah, Ascent's looking great right now in this series. We have seen some sparks of life from 4-3 Riot, but they just haven't been able to make something really happen and just and take a map. And now they're going to Havana. This is their map pick. This is their chance to make something happen and potentially begin that reverse sweep. So going into Havana, what do you think we're gonna see? Since they're gonna be defending first.
Yeah, the Havana pick is interesting for Riot because I think, Ascent's probably going to look to run that double shield we saw them run earlier. We saw them play that early, and while they didn't really keep it, I think this is certainly a map where it benefits really strongly. So let's see if they keep it out here.
Yeah, and so far we have been seeing that 4-3 Riot really likes the brawl. So now that they're on defense, that hints to me that maybe they want to go for the door hold on this defense here. Just hold straight up at the spawn door.
Yeah, I think we actually saw them do that in their last game. I know teams have been certainly doing that at the high level, and we've seen it certainly trickle down to this tournament as well. So I'm excited to see if they do hold that door, as we've seen many times.
Yeah, it sort of hints like they're looking at it. They have the Rein Zarya, the Kree Hanzo. The Ana Zen is what they're going to be. Looks like they are going to be rolling out with this Zen here, which is definitely interesting. Not going to really have that Lucio to speed Skies right onto the enemy team.
Yeah, taking that that more snipery, spammy pick of Zen that lets you maybe focus down the target before they get in a little bit. Maybe that's what they're going for.
Yeah, and that Discord, as well as the Bionades from Baritone, which we have seen go all day, come in big, and they're not gonna be holding the spawn. I was wrong. They're just gonna be holding on this high ground. At this point, Skies doesn't really have too much of a role here, other than just shield all this spam for his team. And at this point, they just need to drop now. We're seeing the double shield on the side of Ascent once again with the Ascent, which is, I think, exactly what we saw on Nimbani when they were defending.
Big anti hits yet again. Baritone has had these antis all day long, and Skies going to be able to follow up and then go down immediately after it was just a really aggressive pin from Skies. Rasky Grant finds 2. And Riot's actually going to be able to hold early here, but they don't have the spawns in their favor right now.
Yeah, but that was another huge Bionade from Baritone. It hit 3, I think, and it was good on 4-3 Riot for capitalizing on it. But now that their main tank did go down in that fight, they have to be fighting back a little bit, and now they just need to retake this space that they just lost.
Yeah, 4-3 Riot regrouping now with their lost members as Rasky Grant finds yet another pick. Rasky Grant being big on this Zarya so far. Skies going in hard as the Zen goes down. Skies gets trapped. I gotta say, Skies has been caught out multiple times, and there it goes again. Skies did have a big shatter earlier. Looking to allow their team to recover now. Icy finds a pick on Edgy, who goes down early. That's going to be Ascent poking out this point.
I don't even know if that wasn't even a trap from that guys that caught it. I think he was just standing there.
Oh, no, yeah, there's no trap. Yeah. There's no trap to be caught in. Yes, Skies just kind of,
Now he's caught out again.
Skies is just a little bit off right now. Maybe a little tilted. It can be hard when you're down 2-0 like this. But at the end of the day, at least making enough space for their players to be able to pop off. Right now, Riot is still contesting and holding this point with picks. Passing into the Iris is going to be Sweetbread as Icy goes down to a damage-boosted Hanzo shot that's going to allow more follow-up from Shadow. Be able to clear this point, but a big shatter from Skies, making me look silly for suggesting that something might be going on with him as he finds a few picks and more counting. Skies, it's a huge shatter there.
AP Firechild does end up finding Sweetbread, and now it's 0.14 meters left on that point, and they do manage to get it. That was quite a big stall from 4-3 Riot, but unfortunately for them, they couldn't pull it into an actual fight win. So they'll just have to now they'll just have to set up for a nice second point here.
Yeah, DJ Pickle has that ult online, so does Edgy. But at the end of the day, it's the Flux from AP Flower Child that we're all looking out for. That's going to be a huge ultimate this fight. As now Ascent is on this high ground. They have the double shield just rolling up here now, spamming it out, and a big anti hits yet again from Baritone. These antis are huge, but just no follow-up, especially when they're on the high ground like this. Guy is underneath just trying to figure out who to swing on. Icy takes down Jinro, who goes down big. That's a huge pick for Riot. Ascent might start having to commit ult if they want to have a chance at winning this fight, because right now they're just kind of fighting for cart push, which is plenty if you're the attackers, but now that Riot has started to defend, you got to find a way to make space with that pick.
Yeah, AP Flower Child still has this derivative flux. You could definitely use it here, I think, if you're AP Flower Child. And he uses it there and it's huge. It finds 4. You have to be careful with TJ though with the high noon, but he's not gonna find anything with it.
Yeah.
Sweet Bread is down to Shadow. And now the rest of Monkey Riot is going to follow suit as Ascent is just going to keep on rolling this cart through. And Rasky Grant is just going to get a little bit staggered out and he's going to die late.
Yeah, I really would have liked to see Riot take advantage. They had a pick, but they didn't take any rotations to take the space. They just allowed Ascent to hold for free. And over time, that spam comp wore them out. They really need to take advantage when they have a pick like that and find some unique rotations to be able to run on this double shield comp. It's going to get only harder as you go into this phase of Havana, this last point, which can be hard to cap for the attackers. It can also be hard for the defenders to hold on to if you're getting rolled like this on this kind of spam comp. Icy finding an early pick on Jinro is huge. Some big plays from Riot. No need to not point out those as well. Riot has had some big moments, but overall they've just been struggling. Ascent now getting a pick at the end. Rascal Grant is really going in here. Probably going to die as a result as well.
Yeah, he's 1 HP and he gets caught out by Edgy. That final blow onto him.
You just hate to see it, man. So many really good moments for Riot and then some, not so good moments. Guys is trying to pin out.
Can't get
Man.
out. Unlucky for them.
I don't want to show any bias or anything, but at the end of the day, it just looks bad for Riot. They're getting staggered, and frankly, I think being down 2-0 has had a certain effect on them. Maybe not, but they're just making silly mistakes at this point. They are a newer team, so it's something you do have to expect. Skies now getting onto the high ground to let his team hold it. Good space to hold. The Skies goes in with the nano, the shatter. I'm sorry. You're going to go for a 180 shatter when you're down this bad. It doesn't look good. Skies gets blocked easily by a Sigma because you essentially just extended and made more obvious your shatter. Skies goes down as a result. And Riot's getting rolled right now. Frankly, Riot needs to... And it's not everybody on Riot. I mean, there's been some good plays, but I really think it's a few consistent members who just don't seem to be on the same page as everybody else. Icy finding yet another entry pick. That's kind of my point here. Big Transcendence on the point now from Sweetbread. Going to be massive as the Transcendence to follow from Jinro. Just as huge. Both teams now fighting for space on the point. Ultimates coming out for each. High Noon comes out and Riot. They're going to be able to hold this third point. It's so hard for the attackers that this could possibly give some momentum to Riot.
Yeah, and this is where you begin that hard mental reset. You were down badly on these first 2 points. You lost those first 2 points. You got rolled. You got staggered. Now this is where you need to sort of pick it back up again. 90 seconds to defend this final point. And maybe IC can find an opening with this Hansel to potentially split off some members of Ascent. But Shadow finds an opening pick onto DJ, and that's not what you want. But that's a big shadow onto the tanks of Ascent. But unfortunately, there's not going to be any follow-up as ultimates are coming out on the side of Ascent, and Grant is going to be the first to go down to them.
Flux really finding nothing. A wasted ult from Ascent. Going to give Riot at least a little bit of a hope. Being able to use this Transcendence to hold this as big as they go aggro with that infinite health, essentially. Skies is getting melted, has to go back to cover as the Transcendence is over. Asky Grant finds a big slam on AP Flower Child. Icy is down, but Edgy is as well, and with that, Riot is looking to take this fight. They're going in. Shadow, though, finds Baritone. That's the Moira now down. Skies fighting off the Orisa goes down as well. Time and time again, Riot just getting caught out. Going up to try to win that fight because you had some picks. Now DJ Pickle finds Panay, who goes down as well. Coalescence, last hope ultimate from Riot here. Obviously, though, they did get a good hold. they could look to do the same thing they did on Numbani if they make a good attack.
Yeah, that was Shadow just finding so many picks over the course of this last fight. And there's another onto Icy as DJ can't get anything with that Deadeye. And now it's just Grant to stow it out. They are going to get the overtime though, but there's no one else left except for Skies, who then goes down. Baritone, no fade left, cannot stall for any longer. So 4-3 Riot just has to be content with that overtime hold.
Yeah, getting overtime is actually big there for Riot. This third point's hard though, so they gotta have something on attack that can change the game up, because right now they're not looking too hot.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a hell of an answer that that 4-3 Riot is going to have to come up with. Hopefully for them, they can just really get one of those sparks of life that they have been developing sort of over the course of this match. Unfortunately, over the last 2 maps, they just haven't been able to find anything out of them. And I think this is your chance now on map 3 when you're down 2-0.
Yeah, very good point. Obviously, if ever the chance was to come, you would hope it would come now for Riot, who do have a chance left. They could really coordinate themselves, cut off. It's really just a few simple mistakes, so really this is winnable for Riot. If they can recover from these mistakes, they've certainly had some moments where they've shown really brightly in this match. So let's see if they can finally overcome Ascent here, who have just really had a dominant game overall.
Absolutely, and they're back on the double shield comp. They're going to be setting up on this low ground here. We'll see what 4-3 Riot ends up coming out with here. They're going to be mirroring this double shield as well, with the exception of DJ on the McCree and Baritone on the Mercy here. I think if you're on the Mercy, you're going to be pocketing the McCree or the Hanzo for a lot of extra shield break and a lot of just extra damage overall. There's a pull onto Edgy though in it, and he gets caught out.
Yeah, that's big. So far, the double bubble from Riot is working really well. Or not the double bubble, sorry, the double shield. 2 double shield comps hitting each other as Baritone gets caught out, though. Yeah, you can see it in this double shield. The worst thing you can do is lose your Mercy to a Hanzo like that.
Yeah, now Edgy has flipped over to the McCree. Looks like he wants to mirror DJ here, as the shield is broken on the side of Ascent.
Well, both teams get their respawns around the same time. The Mercy back for Riot, the McCree back for Ascent. As these spoke comps are doing what they do best, a lot of team members find themselves low as Sweetbread goes down. Shadow finds 2 big picks from Shadow so far as we've seen all game long. Shadow goes down now to DJ Pickle, but Edgy's going to follow up, as you said, mirroring that McCree pick. Icy finds a pick though, so the respawns could be in favor of Riot, except for Rasky Grant going down is going to make that a little bit harder. You have to use the rest to get him back up. So now with respawns here, Riot looks to push hard.
Yeah, and I think if you're Sweetbread, you just window first and spam as much as you can into it. But Bazinga is going to be getting that window off first, but the Hanzo is going to be sort of isolating them a little bit. The DPS were split off from the rest of the team, but it doesn't matter as Skies is going to go down off the back of that Supercharger and the Deadeye, and picks are just going to keep following up in favor of Ascent. And they're holding on to this point really well, I have to say. Took down almost 2 minutes off the clock already.
Yeah, Riot committing that mirror to try to win that fight, but at the end of the day, they end up expending it now. They have some card push to work with, but this point can be hard. Especially on this double bubble, it can be really hard to get this initiative here. Big pull doesn't get much. It's going to be blocked off pretty well by AP Flower Child. Makes a big play on the Sigma there. Riot pushing in through a dragon. They've got to get out of the way of this one. They're taking a lot of damage, too. They get pulled back in as well. Here comes the pull, and the lamp is out for Riot. Here comes a flux for Rasky Grant. Going to catch 3 members of Ascent going down. Back to the ground, but they stay alive. DJ Pickle goes down and gets res. So right now Ascent is low. And Riot's going to look to capitalize on that with some picks. AP Flower Child goes down. There goes the mirror. And this is turning into a team fight. Riot is starting to get some momentum, and the Bongo is out for Skies. They're pushing this cart with aggression, but maybe not enough. The mirror comes out, and now that's going to cause the rest of Ascent to fall. Riot finally seeming to capture this point.
Yeah, I think the Gravitic Flux from Grant was sort of the build-up to that fight momentum for 4-3 Riot, and then AP Flower Child lost his Gravitic Flux in the midst of that chaos, and then the window from Sweetbread to top it all off and solidify the first point for them.
Yeah, and Jinro almost had this Transcendence online again. These Transcendences have been big all day long, and Riot doesn't have one to follow now. So let's see what Jinro can do.
Yeah, and the good thing if you're on the side of Ascent is you already have this high ground at your disposal. And Icy is down early as the dragons come out. It does split off Panay, who is low a little bit. I don't know if it's going to matter too much, especially with that Transcendence coming out from Jinro. Two other ultimates, the Deadeye and the Supercharger, which does go down to Icy, which is good. A lot of your damage is gone if you're Ascent.
Flux coming out now from Riot. Again, this Zen pick is just so big. They catch Panay, who's going to be able to probably Orisa Golden out of this. No. Skies actually goes down to Panay, who's in the Flux, though. Very unfortunate. So now you have the Orisa on the side of the set, not for Riot. DJ Pickle finds a Pickle Tynoon there.
Yeah, he went on a bit of a flank on the high ground on the right side, by the staircase, and he does get rezzed off of it. So this could be big for 4-3 Riot, seeing as they're about to run this corner. And now the main take is down for Ascent. That's Icy finding another pick onto Panay. DJ, his duo partner, finding Jinro. And now that's Ascent just backing up. That's gonna be second point now for 4-3 Riot.
Yeah, big plays for Riot. Now, the problem is Ascent is on the spam comp, and they're playing it hard, so you're going to have to win out this third point and try to get a time bank, which they were able to do on Numbani, and then it still wasn't enough, so this is going to be a little bit hard. Clearly, I've made a mistake. AP Flower Child might have referred to AP Flower Child as he, which is not correct, so she now coming in with the Graphitic Flux. AP Flower Child going in big. I do want to apologize to Ascent for that. But AP Flower Child now spamming through this mirror, which is big from their team as Icy finds a pick, though. AP Flower Child, she finds one as well. They're trading through. Now Riot is making some progress, though, as both teams are trading onto the point.
Getting lots of momentum here. If you're on the side of Ascent, you have to use these ultimates wisely. You have another fight coming up here as 4-3 Riot approaches this C4. Skies, though, has the Supercharger at his disposal, as well as Panay. Ultimate advantage definitely in favor of Ascent here. And that Bongo is out early from Panay.
Yeah, that Bongo is going to be huge, forcing Riot back. They have a big time bank, and let's see if they can use their ult to capitalize. DJ Pickle goes down. They have the res online. Icy finds a pick. That could be enough, but Shadow finds Skies, the main tank. For Riot going down, they're going to have to regroup off of that, it seems. They're not going to get the res. Icy goes down as well. So let's see if these members of Riot get regrouped, come back with what could be a huge Flux or Mirror. Either way, you hope to get that Zen ultimate out before you have to commit the second ultimate, hopefully to win the team fight.
Yeah, Jinro will have to use one of these ultimates in response to either that Matrix or the Scriptic Flux. And now Bazinga also has a window of their own, and now he used the early Rassi Grant, caught out immediately. Can't round that corner in time.
Icy goes down as well. That mirror was huge for Ascent. Riot gonna have to, regroup again, but they're glad they got the ultimate out. The big thing, though, is that Transcendence is the big ultimate. Oh, they're getting crossfired right now. Riot's going down, and they're getting staggered. Yeah, that's gonna be big for Ascent in the time bank. Riot gonna have to recoup, and get some ultimates going in their favor.
Yep, they have a minute left, and now they've built some more ultimates. Now Edgy has this tac visor at his disposal. Now this is gonna be rough for 4-3 Riot, just pushing through this last point in general. This is what I've always hated about Habana, just pushing through this super long sight line. The Transcendence now out now in response to the Gravitic Flux.
Yeah, and they committed the Flux Dragon, which you're glad it got the trans out, but yeah, you had to use 2 ultimates there to get it. Use the mirror now. AP Flower Child gets hit while they're in that Graphitic Flux, or not the Flux, sorry, the Sigma Suck, I don't know, whatever it's called. His Skies finds 2 picks going into this point. We're going to actually get a pause coming through from the side of Ascent, but some really big picks there from Riot. They're rolling through, and if Ascent doesn't stall hard enough, they could be looking at getting time banked.
Yeah, it's down to final fight. 24 seconds left, and I think if you're Ascent, you just have to be going for this stall. at like worst case scenario or best case scenario, I think in this case for 4-3 Riot is they just get the overtime push.
Yeah, so we're gonna be waiting here. Some technical difficulties to sort out. But yeah, both teams actually running on this double bubble. Double shield, I should say. I don't hate it. Double shield isn't the worst thing to see when it's not the meta. When you're not forced to run it, it can be kind of a nice change of pace. So,
Yeah.
Certainly don't mind it.
Yeah, double shield definitely something we haven't seen too much of like as of recently, seeing as Brawl and the double bubble compositions have been sort of the meta just for a while. Not as much double shield in the mix.
Yeah, that's true. The dragon coming out from Shadow could be big here. The picks from Riot are pretty good right now. It's going to be hard for Ascent to regroup, but still possible. It actually does seem that Skies has a pull coming out right now. I don't know if you have that on your screen as well. And that pull could be huge because it's actually, if it doesn't hit the stairs, it could go catch 3 members of Ascent. That would be a really big pull.
Yeah, for sure. And I want to point out Shadow also has this Hanzo ult ready. So he could definitely make something work with that and just and split off 4-3 Riot, which could definitely be big going into this last fight and maybe even finding a pick with it.
Yeah, that dragon, at the end of the day, you just mostly look to split the enemy team. If you can, but with the pull, it's sort of a faux sort of grab, if you will. Obviously, you have the flux as well, but that's probably not going to be online in time for Ascent to want to use it. Yeah, it's going to be hard for Ascent to hold, but they certainly do have some ultimates coming online here. I think they can do it. I really think this could be a hold. The match could end here if Riot doesn't put something together because they don't have the ultimates right now. I think they're going to have to try to stop these 3 members of Ascent from getting back into spawn. I think that's going to be huge.
Yeah, and as we can see, both Panay and AP Farchild are both in the spawn room. So it'll be a little bit of a walk back from the spawn room for them to get back into the fray here.
Yeah, it seems like it was actually Shadow typing /fix ping in chat that fixed Panay's PC issues, I think.
Yeah.
So remember, if you're ever having ping or Overwatch issues in general, you can just type command related to your issue, and that actually fixed it pretty easy. /fix ping, of course. If you're having bad ping, it's really easy. Icy even reporting being a negative ping. That's certainly a competitive advantage. I think we might have to ban Icy from the tournament for having negative ping. I'm not sure about that.
Oh, man.
Icy is reporting things to the server before the server even. I'm trying to comprehend this genius concept of negative ping, but the server is executing command before it even receives the command in the first place. I would say is what that means, because I'm definitely the person who would know this kind of thing. So don't worry about that. But both teams do seem to be ready, so this pause isn't going to be much longer. Everybody is waiting to go back at it.
Yep. Final fight, 24 seconds left. Baritone as well, coming up on this Falcon at 13%. And now the Hanzo will out immediately from Shadow. And Red has to invest the Immortality Field super early here.
Oh, the pull only gets one the first time, but the second time it catches all 3 of them who are burning. They don't die, though. That pull caught 3 people, and they all lived. Riot is starting to find the fix they need, but the lamp's going to keep members of Ascent alive for just as long as they can hope to live for here. Ascent's turning this fight around, and oh no! I think Riot just lost the map off the pause. Oh no, not because of the pause. I don't mean to dare claim that, but obviously, they were looking to have last push, and that pause just sort of delayed it a little bit. Big win there. That's going to be Ascent taking the 3-0 at the end of the day. As we see this play of the game from Bazinga, possibly. Nice play of the game. Intro, I don't even remember that one, but unique play of the game. But yeah, that was a really big play for Ascent and Hawkshaw. We gotta pick an MVP I have maybe a couple people in mind, but I want to pick your brain, Hawkshaw. Who are your first thoughts as to who you might say was the MVP here today for Ascent?
I'm not sure. Just so many people played. Just so many people played well on the side of Ascent. It was definitely. I think one candidate I have to point out is Panay, just winning so many of those main tank duels, and that's exactly what you need. In these team environments, just having a great main tank to lead your team and just uh, get a little bit of that MTD and onto the other. What do you think?
Yeah, I think Panay really made a lot of big plays, big shatters, and even some blocks. I think Shadow, Jinro were worthy candidates as well. I think it's very reasonable to pull Panay to the spotlight. Obviously, though, being helped and really well supported by plenty of members of Ascent who all had a really good game. Again, specifically noting Shadow and Jinro, who Jinro specifically had those transcendences online for every single fight. But this MVP at the end of the day is going to go to Panay, who had just an absolutely massive game on the Reinhardt against, a pretty tough challenge up against Skies. Definitely didn't show it. Panay had a great game. And for that, Panay wins the MVP. We're going to have Panay in here for a short MVP interview, Hawkshaw. Very excited.
Interviews in one day.
Yeah, Panay winning the lottery with these interviews.
Yeah, we're gonna.
We are going to be getting Panay in here soon once they know they'll be dragged up. Riot played a good game. They had a challenge on their hand and they met it. But at the end of the day, Ascent with a really strong 3 over Riot.
Yeah, and yeah,
Once
Riot
Panay knows,
still
we'll be able to
struggling
pull him
with-
up.
Yeah, and Riot still struggling a bit to get their first. Sorry, I'm typing.
No, yeah, Riot has not broken that first win yet. They have taken a map, 2 maybe, but yeah, Riot, getting things together, they are a newer team, and you expect the struggle, so certainly some really strong learning experiences here for Riot. It's really important that they view it that way, or else, maybe they'll struggle a little bit. If you can view it as learning experience, I really think these are big games for Riot to get early experience and just learn from their mistakes.
Yeah, now we are going to get Panay in here for a short interview, and there he is.
Hello, Panay. You are our game's
Hello.
MVP. How does that make you feel? I mean, this was certainly...
It feels great.
That was
First
a huge
one of
game
the
for you.
season. Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, Ascent. You guys got your first one of the season. I'm sure you're feeling great about that, and we'll let you go back to celebrate with your team after a few quick questions here. That was a really good game. I saw some interesting comps. After the patch, there's some things changed up, but that double bubble was really strong for you guys.
Double shield.
Double shield. Sorry, yeah, I'm so defaulting to this double bubble. But I gotta ask, who do you think? Obviously, you popped up. Who other than yourself, if you had to give the MVP to someone on your team, who would you have given it to?
I would probably say Shadow. Like, he really popped off a lot during Ilios. Like, there was that one pint on Ruins. He literally just, killed 4 immediately. And then, I mean, he's not a player, but my coach, Ben, he literally VOD reviewed we played Havana yesterday, and he VOD reviewed us. I'm pretty sure that's what carried us through that last map.
Yeah, it's obviously really big when you guys can work on a map like that. How would you say, because I think this is something Riot can learn from. Obviously you guys had a pretty dominant victory today. Not to bring up the past, you guys know what it feels like to have a loss. So,
Oh, yeah.
Obviously you guys lost in a similar style. I think both of those, Riot lost in 3-0 today. I think you guys lost 3-0 to WVU, I believe.
Yeah.
So how do you think, just, maybe some friendly advice, what do you think Riot can do? How do you think they can learn best from this game and the way that you guys were able to from that WVU game?
I feel like I don't really, I'm not that, macro is good, but I wasn't really paying attention to them that much. But I feel like they're Ryan to be a little more passive, especially with the health nerf. Yeah, he was there was big shatters that you hit on our team, but then he would just instantly blow up right after and just die, and then we would win the fight off the pick.
Yeah, and that is a challenge, that knowing when to go in on Ryan, and obviously you hit a big shatter, you want to go in, but
yeah,
you just get melted, especially with this nerf. Good notes for all. We're gonna let you get back and celebrate with your team. Unless Hawkshaw, do you have any questions for our MVP today?
So where do you think, going off of this 3-0 win over Riot today, what are your thoughts going into for you and your team going into the next few weeks of this tournament?
I feel like it'll be a lot better. Like this great morale boost as we were really down after getting 3-0 last week, or last week, and so this is gonna really help us like just boost up and hopefully carry it through to another game.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
WVU is certainly a strong team, so of course no shame there. Same with you guys beating Riot here. You guys looked really strong today.
I was not playing well last week.
Well, great game. We're gonna let you get back and celebrate with your team. It's well deserved. Really great game for you guys. So glad you were able to get that win today. Go celebrate with your team, man. GG's.
GG.
Omega.
Oh no, I cut off his Omega lol. I'm so sorry.
Man.
But Panay was gonna say Omega lol, I believe. I think that was it. But another great game. Again, I just want to remind you guys to follow. If you happen to have that Twitch Prime, to go ahead and hit it. I think we have a moment here. We can go ahead and look at our upcoming matches. Friday, that's tomorrow, everybody, 8 p.m. EST. That's going to be, I believe, Octave, and I think Suspect are casting that match. I do believe. But either way, definitely, obviously, as always, an exciting casting duo. That's going to be a really exciting match. I know I'll be there in the chat checking that one out. Make sure you guys are there. That's going to be WVU Mountaineers versus Potatoes. Could be a strong showing from WVU. Hopefully, Potatoes has been doing their research and they can go into this match strong. Thank you guys so much for coming out. We had a big 3-0 today, so obviously not the most back and forth match, but it was a really strong showing from a team that got 3-0'd earlier. So this really changes up the rankings and maybe how you're power ranking these teams. Thanks everybody for coming out. Obviously, we have our video you might have seen earlier or from last week and our little highlight montage of our plays of the game. Thank you guys so much for coming out and following and watching. You guys were great. Me and Hawkshaw are going to be signing out. Thank you, everybody. 4 and 3 out.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.